My boyfriend Nick and I wanted to visit Fiona the hippo for our first anniversary when he surprised me by proposing. We're so happy Fiona could be there on our special day. We had been talking about marriage from the beginning because we have always known we were meant to be. Here's to many more years of going to zoos with you. So, I came into Mason-Dixon Family Restaurant today for lunch, and an elderly woman with special needs was telling a waitress that her foot hurt. The waitress stepped with her to the side, took off her shoe and helped her. She reassured her, fixed her shoe, and spent about 10 minutes with her. In a world where so much is wrong, please take the time to look for what is right. So much love and grace. I was so touched I had to take a picture to share this. I had the pleasure of meeting Jessica today. She was doing her job at Kroger, outside wrestling some very heavy carts in the wind. I walked by just in time to hear a grumpy lady in a car roll down her window and proceed to scream at her for being in her way. This poor girl was so embarrassed she was almost ready to cry. I put my arm around her and told her she did nothing wrong. She was doing a great job, and some people are just grumpy. We walked into the store together, and she wanted me to stay while she told her manager what had happened. Even retelling the story, she got visibly upset again. I assured the manager Jessica had done nothing wrong and handled herself very well. I asked to take her picture, and she asked, "What for?" I told her that I wanted to share with the Facebook world that I had met a beautiful young lady today, and she just may get famous. This smile said it all. I followed up with the manager and asked how many special needs people they hired there. He stated at least 12, and they never turn them away if they want to work. Shout out to Kroger in New Albany. After leaving out of the store today, my daughter did something that really made me stop and think. There was this guy sitting there crying, and she asked me, "Did you see that man crying? What's wrong with him?" I said, "Yes, but I'm not sure. Maybe he's just sad." She said, "Maybe he's hot and thirsty." She walked over to him and goes, "Hi, sir, be happy. It's a nice day. It's not raining. Are you hot? Why don't you go home? The ground is dirty." He says, "I have no home, but I will be okay." She looked at him with the saddest face and goes, "So that means you're homeless. So you have no food because you have no refrigerator." She gave him a few dollars out of her purse and her drink and said, "Please go eat. It would make me happy. I like McDonald's. You should go there." I could tell she made his day. On top of that, 2 more people came up and gave money as well. We had a small conversation, and he explained his trailer burnt down and he lost everything, including his wife. I felt for him. It just warms my heart. A 6-year-old lead by example this morning. Awesome! Kids see no color, and that's exactly how it should be. It's not just a statement saying that the children are our future, it's a fact. That gives me a little more hope for the world. This was my beautiful wife this past January, getting ready to go in to take her exam for Chief Petty Officer. She was in between chemo rounds and fighting fatigue, chemo sickness, and chemo brain. When she got home and I asked her how she did, she said, "I prayed my way through the exam, so it's all in God's hands." Today, the Navy publicly released the advancement results for Chief Petty Officer, and she was selected. For those of you that don't know, being selected for Chief is a huge milestone in her career. I am so proud of her. This year has been a tough one on her, but she never stopped fighting. She always relied on her faith. She never gave up. She is a true fighter. Congratulations, Chief Select. I'm proud of you and I love you. At the age of 28, I found out I was pregnant with quintuplets. Immediately, my doctor talked to me about selective reduction. When I said no, he sent me to a specialist who repeatedly asked me to consider reducing my pregnancy to triplets or even twins. This went on for several months. My husband and I never considered this, not for a second. God had given us these tiny children, and He would take care of them. 20 years later, I look back and can't imagine our lives without any of them. After graduation, 3 joined the military to serve our country, and 2 are pursuing careers in the medical field. They are all responsible adults who love God and make this world a better place. I chose to save their lives, and now they are saving the lives of others. I met this little guy yesterday during lunch at Big John's. He's 5 years old and a patient at St. Jude. He and his family are from Oregon, and they are staying at the Ronald McDonald House. I gave him a Marion Fire Department t-shirt, and it put a big smile on that sweet face. I pray that God will heal this young man and give him the opportunity to live a long, productive life. This is one of the best managers I've ever had. In the midst of our second shift tonight, we had this couple come in with their sleeping grandchild. While Doug was checking on all the tables, he saw they were trying to balance holding him and eating at the same time. This man proceeded to ask to hold the baby so they could fully enjoy their meal. This brought tears. Definitely a wonderful man and great daddy. He has twins. You don't see such kindness very often anymore. This is my manager at Cracker Barrel. My girlfriend lost her purse with her passport and way too much money in it. This dude found it, contacted her, and got it back to her with everything still in it. 10 tens, bro. Thanks. I was at the Sam's in Houma today. I loaded up my basket with more than I was planning to go in for, as it normally happens. As I was walking out to my car, I realized I never asked any workers if someone was available to help me load up the 57-pound bag of dog food that someone was nice enough to place in my buggy. I'm currently 35 weeks pregnant. As I got to my car, a Sam's worker was picking up baskets in the parking lot right next to my car. Before I could really even ask him if he would load the dog food into my car, he started to unload my whole buggy into my car. Thank you so very much, Kendall, for helping me. Here I am sitting at a tire shop in Oro Valley, AZ, when 3 OVPD officers come in, all of which I happen to know. I said hello to Sonic Gracie and began to chat. He said they were just on a disabled vehicle call with an amazing 97-year-old man, WWII vet. His tires were very bad and he had a flat. Money was tight for him. The squad all came together and bought new tires for this gentleman's car. The officers were incredibly humble and said, "Hey, we got to take care of each other, right?" These selfless acts of kindness happen every day in law enforcement. Take care of your law enforcement officers. They certainly take care of you and your loved ones. This sweet lady did something very nice for me this morning. I didn't grab anything from the house for my lunch, so I stopped at the McDonald's in Taft. Doors are locked, and this McDonald's worker that was on her break says to me, "I'm sorry, sir, but we are only open for drive-through." I said, "Well, that sucks. I'm driving a big rig." As I turned away and started back towards my truck, she says, "Sir, I'll go inside and get you something. What would you like?" She used her break to meet my needs, and I think that she deserves some appreciation, because I sure do appreciate what she did for me. Us truck drivers are running and doing our best to get product back into the stores to fill the shelves as quick as we can. She showed a little human kindness, a lesson that I think we all can learn from. Dad, stop the car! That was the cry from my son in the back seat as we were leaving the Panera parking lot. I hit the brake and Harrison suddenly rolled open the side door of the van and raced over to 3 men sitting outside. The men are veterans, and my son has made it his quest to thank a veteran, wherever they may be, for their service. He got back in the van, excited and out of breath. "Dad, those 3 men were at D-Day. One was a paratrooper, one was a pilot, the other stormed the beach. Isn't that awesome?" So here's to my now teenage son, who is showing me every day how to be a man. My wife and I were stopping at the store to get dinner, and I saw an older gentleman laid down in the road in front of the store. So I pulled over and rushed to his side. Another guy was next to him checking his pulse and said he couldn't find it. So we pulled him out of the road and immediately began chest compressions. The 2 of us worked on him for about 5 minutes or so, while a whole bunch of onlookers just stood there. The paramedics finally arrived and took over, and after shocking him several times in what felt like a lifetime, were able to stabilize him and get him to the hospital. a police officer came over and told us he had a massive heart attack. He then shook my hand and congratulated us for saving this complete stranger and said had we not been there and acted as fast as we had, that he would have absolutely not made it. This morning, the family contacted me and I went to the hospital to meet this man. Turns out he had V-fib and died 3 times at the hospital. And had we not sprung into action as fast as we did, he wouldn't have even made it there. The doctor told me that people have less than a 10% survival rate and couldn't remember the last time he saw somebody survive this. This man, Steven, is super awesome and incredibly funny. Every year he is Santa Claus for the kids in his town and hosts an event called Meet Santa at the high school. And he even promised me we're going to toss back a few beers when he's fully recovered. You never know what kind of situation might unfold at any moment, and simply knowing what to do might be the difference between someone going home to their family or not.